Single fathers are respected more in society than single mothers. We'll start by bringing up everyone that agrees now. Why do you feel that single fathers get more respect than single mothers in society?
I think they get more respect because there's fewer of them, if I'm honest. There's programs for single fathers. There are not a lot of programs directly for single mothers that call out single mothers. There's Father's Initiative program.
The whole program of child support. That's the program for single mothers. But let's continue.
So I think it's because it's so rare.
I actually had this conversation last night. It's becoming more the norm now, but it wasn't. So if, say there's a single dad with their kids and they're out of control, and I'm there with my kids and they're out of control, the people are going to, out of my experience and what I've seen a lot of times, get on me about or make snide remarks or comments or whatnot because they see a mom that has no dad with them. Kids are out of control, you're not parenting right. But if they see a dad that way, do you need help? Oh, that's because they're not used to seeing that, I guess, but it is becoming more the norm. So that's where I feel like they get more respect, things like that, little things.
You don't see it very often. A lot of times, in my experience, I've seen where if there's a single dad, then they end up with a girlfriend or a mother type figure in their lives to, kind of help with it. There's a single dad, then they're getting the extra help, or there's classes and different events for them, like daddy-daughter dance. I mean, sometimes you'll hear about mommy and me, but mostly it's the dad thing.
Okay.
I'm very curious as to what the dads are going to say when they come up. But I think I disagree with all three of them. Each one of their points individually. The first lady said that there's no programs to help single mothers, or at least not as many as there are for men. But I think the whole institution of child support helps women more than it does men. Then the second lady, she said that if she has her kids and they're misbehaving, and then the dad has his kids and they're misbehaving, I think most people would look at both sets of kids and say, hey, their parents don't know what the heck they're doing, regardless of gender. And then the last lady, she's talking about how it's easier for a man to bring another woman into the child's life, if he has a girlfriend or whatever. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think women are able to get a partner much, much faster, and they're able to get a stepdad or another man to come into the house for their child versus a man being able to get a woman. I feel like it's much, much easier for a woman to be able to do that. And we can't deny the numbers too, man. Like overwhelmingly, most of the time, the woman is the one who leaves the relationship, and that's the reason she's a single mother. Might not be any of these women's case. It's very personalized, but that's just what the numbers show. We got to be completely unbiased and analytical when we look at this stuff. A lot of them are choosing to be single mothers, simply put.
Well, and now it's time to bring up everyone that disagrees. So I obviously find it interesting that it was all four gentlemen and one lady. But first I want to get the ladies' take, and then I want to go to the subject at hand.
So, hot take. I don't think single fathers or mothers are respected. I think we're pitied. And I think both of us are in the same situation. And I think every time somebody looks at us and they find out that you're a single parent or you wear that badge or things like that, it actually can go against you, especially like in the corporate world. So
I think that's true,
like
actually.
Single dads, we don't get no love shown at all. For one, I've never heard of any programs that were like, oh, if you're a single dad, we got your back. Hell no. If anything, they just look at you like, you better figure it out. You know what I mean? Like Father's Day is not even held with the same significance as Mother's Day at all. And like I said, there was never not one time where they were like, yeah, here's a program for you and your daughter or whatever. None of that. Most of the time, shelters are for mother and kids. You know what I mean? There was times when I was younger where that would have helped me out a lot if I would have been able to hear about some type of resources like that and whatever. And
that's facts. Him bringing up the difference between Mother's Day and Father's Day. I don't even know when Father's Day is. That's sad. Mother's Day's coming up. So I know Mother's Day is like something that we celebrate every single year because my mom, she has 8 kids. She was a single mother. So what he's saying is facts. Don't nobody really celebrate Father's Day. And if they do, it's just like a, hey, happy Father's Day. And then that's it. But mothers get taken out to restaurants. They get taken on trips. They get, cakes and all kinds of gifts and stuff. So that is a very good point. Very, very good point.
And it is what it is though. That's what just comes along with it. But for sure, like I've never heard of any programs that were for helping single dads with kids. And like I said, for Father's Day, like it don't even feel like it's the same significance at all. Like I've never been to a restaurant where they were like, yeah, Father's Day, you get to eat for free and shit. And like even the gifts suck. Like, the Father's Day gifts suck.
With me and my kids, I can't go out and get food stamps. I can't go out and get any benefits like that. In fact, I lost 3 kids to the court system, which is a little different, but in the state of Nebraska specifically, is tailored to the mother. And these are based off of laws from the 50s when the soldiers went to war and the government tried to step in to help the mothers and the children. So it's been a battle that I've been fighting for the last at least decade. I'm trying to get my kids back in my life, and it's been tough. So that's why I disagree.
Disagree as well, piggybacking off of what he said. The court system's a different topic, or
Yeah, we will do that one later in this episode.
are horrible for men. I've been trying to get my daughter for a while, and it's nearly, you got to pay a lawyer, God knows how much. The same thing, Father's Day, nobody really says much about it. Like you go out to a restaurant, not even the waitress or anybody says Happy Father's Day.
I think in general in society, guys are thought of as like the breadwinner. So when there is a split, I think that they're like, the guy, you're just supposed to handle it. Like you're supposed to do that. And if you have a single mom, like I have 3 kids, but I think if you have a single mom raising 3 kids, everyone's like empowered.
Yeah, it's because that's a fair point. We're looked at as like the leaders, the strong ones. So whenever you're doing it, it's like as you should. But when a woman steps up and she's able to take care of 2 or 3 kids or whatever, then they're like, wow, she's doing something commendable. She's doing something that most women can't do. So that's a valid point as well. It's almost like just because you're a man, they're like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Just take care of it. We don't want to hear you complaining nothing.
Empowering her because they're like, wow, how do you do that by yourself? How do you do that by yourself? And as a dad, I think they're like, you should just do it. Like put on your boots and get to work and take care of your family. So,
But did anybody hear anything that they said that, just didn't, I don't know, you don't agree with, or you do,
I'm happy to give you the resources afterwards. There are fathers' resources. There's a whole initiative at Lutheran Family Services for fathers, and I'm happy to give that to you.
I will say too, like piggybacking off of that, I haven't heard of any programs since I've had kids.
Because everybody used to be all moms, like he said, like it stems from the 50s.
Is this like
that's the names
newer?
of things, but it is for any it's for any single parent.
Okay, I'm going to challenge everybody real quick. Okay, so as women, right, not to make it a gender thing, but we actively go out and search for community. Y'all have it in your heads because regardless of how you were raised, that you have to do this shit on your own. And I have a lot of guy friends that are single dads, and the second I give them a packet of resources, they like, oh my God, why? And they bawl. And it's because you guys don't always reach out for those kind of resources, or you don't go to the right place. And that sucks. And that really sucks, because you guys should know what your rights are. And like, I feel for you because you should know what your rights are. And I want to let you know that the Nebraska court system has gotten better because of mine.
That part's cat. But I do agree with her when she said that men, a lot of times we don't reach out. She's right. We're very ego driven and prideful. So a lot of times we block our own blessings and we block our own help. And we don't like to reach out and ask for help because sometimes we make it makes it seem like we're less of a man if we do. And women are just naturally more communal than men are. So they're going to be more likely to reach out and ask for that help. They don't have as much pride when it comes to asking for help. So I do agree with her on that. That is a fair thing to challenge, and a lot of dudes might disagree, but I think that's true.
The child support system is fair. We'll start by bringing up everyone that agrees now.
Oh, ain't nobody showed up. Okay, at least everybody's honest.
I guess now's a good time to bring up everyone that disagrees.
Hey, I gotta at least clap it up right there. At least everybody was honest. They know that it's unfair. I expected all the women that are receiving child support, if any of them do, to walk forward. We're gonna find out exactly why they disagree, but I gotta give props where props are due. We can all clearly see that the child support system is messed up. that it needs a complete revamp, and that it's all one-sided. You know, they're basically paying families to be split up. The government has driven a wedge between man and woman, and Satan is laughing right now because men and women are pitted against each other, and men are literally paying to be taken away from their kids. It's crazy. And some men deserve it. You know, some men are not great fathers. Some women deserve it. Some women are not great mothers. But for the most part, nobody should be having to pay, you know, $1,200 a month for their child to be taken care of. It should just be a co-parenting thing. You get the kid half the week, I get the kid the other half. Like, I don't need to physically give you money to take care of the kid when I can take care of them. So I got to give them props for at least keeping it honest.
Pretty curious to see why each of you think so. So if there's anybody that would like to start on one side or the other.
So I think, you know, with the child support system and the government doing what they do, I feel like it's not fair because it depends on every situation, right? So like if the child goes with the mother, the child goes with the father, there needs to be financial support, right? Going based off of these large amount of calculations and then putting everybody in the same calculation when everybody's situation is different doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's unfair because I've seen people intentionally under-earn to avoid making any payments or to avoid paying for insurance.
Okay, so she disagrees because she's like, the man is not paying enough. Let's fully hear her out, but she's saying some men purposely don't work. And to be fair, she didn't say men. She could be talking about women too, but let's be honest, she probably talking about men. But she said they're not making enough on purpose, so they don't have to pay more in child support. Okay, let's hear her out though.
It's kind of disgusting.
And in some states, I think like if you were making a certain amount, they they still force that amount, even if you and obviously there are jobs and things like that there are situations that happen where you get fired and stuff. But to kind of prevent that, I have a personal belief about this. Like, those are your children, and you should want to do anything that they need, right? So if your child needs something, I think you should do whatever you can to support it. And I wish both sides would always just see it that way, because I think with the child support system, the way it is and how it is now, the only person or people in most cases that get hurt in that situation is a kid.
I feel like we, you know, as a person that receives child support, I mean, the amount that you spend on your kids is way, way more than that. There's people who are...
I want y'all to see what's happening. These are the ones that are receiving child support. These women are the ones receiving it. And what they're basically saying is it's not fair because we're not receiving enough. It's not fair. We're not receiving enough, or some men are able to, you know, purposely earn less so that they can give less. And the other lady that was just speaking tried to make it seem like the kid's the only one that suffers. No, the person who has to pay a ton of money is getting fucked too. They're getting hurt too. There's literally documentaries. You can check this out on YouTube. There's literally documentaries of men being homeless because they can't afford to pay the amount that the court is telling them to pay. It doesn't make any sense. Like, they can't pay their own bills. So how can you be a good father and you can't pay your own bills? I also saw another video. This was a crazy story that I saw. There was a dude who had a son by his baby mom. They weren't together. He was paying extra in child support just because he cared for his son enough to do that, to give him extra money. He technically broke the law. So the lady took him to court. He was in jail for 3 months. Lost his job and everything because he was paying more. If you guys don't believe me, you can look it up. Dude goes to jail for paying over the amount of child support, and you'll see it pop up. But I'm just saying, it's crazy to hear this. They're basically just complaining, saying it's not enough. You shouldn't even get child support, in my opinion. That would incentivize people to stay together even more. If you don't get child support, they ought to do it to where if the mom and dad split, mom gets the kid Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, dad gets them Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, and you don't pay any money for anything. You just, when you have the kid, you pay. Or you can give the dad the kid 4 days so he has more financial burden if you want to do it like that. But it doesn't make sense to make one person pay to not even be able to see their kid. What are we talking about?
wanting to do well for their kids, but then they end up getting taken by somebody that's on the female side, or vice versa, or you have men that don't want to take care of their kids, and then it's making it bad for the ones that do, you know. So it's not one side or the other that is the worst. It's both.
I think the financial or the child support system's messed up. My situation's obviously, everybody's situation's different. Mine's, well, I think probably way different than a lot of yours here with my older kids, not my youngest. My older kids got taken, fought for them. I had to pay child support, which my kids, I will pay child support for my kids. Absolutely, I will. There's a difference between what they need and want, I think, and what, you know what I mean, their needs, their necessities, whatnot. I'm not going to pay for whoever had them to live a luxury lifestyle with my kids in rags, it looks like. But the court system made me pay child support. When they took my rights away to those children, I got put in jail for non-payment of child support. You're not letting me see my kids. They're not my kids anymore. Why would I pay child support? And I sat in jail for a month before they finally realized I'm going to stay.
She's seeing it from a male's perspective. She's seeing it from a male's perspective. That's why she's sitting here like, hey, this is bullshit, because that's the reality for most dudes. That's the reality for most dudes. Now, it sucks she had to go through that, but that's what most dudes are going through. You know, maybe not the point where they go to jail, but to where they're literally trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills and how they're going to do this. They get their kids taken away. And on top of that, now you're getting your money taken away. You're getting your wages garnished because you can't see your kid and you got to pay. It's not fair. So she has a totally different perspective than the women on the panel. That's why, look at this lady right here in a jean vest. That's why she looking like, what? Say what? You went to jail? Yeah, that happens. It's usually not the women. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave the video off right here. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this in the comment section. I'll leave the whole video linked in the description so you can go check it out without my commentary. The one thing that I learned from watching this video is try to keep your relationship together, man. You don't want to be a single parent, whether you're a mom or a dad. You don't want to be a single parent. So try to stick together. Try to make sure you pick a partner that is going to last with. And yeah, man, being a single parent ain't it. That's it for this one. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Don't forget to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the hype button. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace.